Zola angwela o veteranu ako itabua. Ako do talitain na barongo na Bula FM nambandu na seri.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka Bula FM berarti nambandu na seri.
Ni Bula binaka, nandraking ko sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang ko sa mundo active na Bula FM nambandu na seri nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka. Nalang ko Jerry yang melambasa. Do barongo na Bula FM nambandu.
Bula FM nambandu na seri.
In the news tonight, Aviation Minister says purchased A350 planes are not rejects. Appointment of special administrator teams clarified. And no progress in downed helicopter search.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Opposition Member of Parliament Nico Nawaikula is again under the spotlight for making false claims in regards to the land bank. Nawaikula made claims the land bank is stopping landowners from making their own decisions. However, the economy minister, while setting the record straight, said Fiji is the only country in the world where 92% of the land is owned by the indigenous people on a communal basis. Kritika Kumar has more.
During the debate, the economy minister clarified that Girmitias were never a threat to the land in Fiji.
So this whole ethnic stuff that's been going on about the Girmitias and them being a threat to land, none of that has happened. Not a single Girmitia nor the descendants have taken a single millimeter of land.
On the same note, the minister stressed that the land bank is in the law and no other government has set aside funds to help the Itoke people develop their land for subdivision.
Because it is in contravention, it's in breach of the rights of the Itoke people. They have the right and the unit to own and manage their own native land. They have the right to be consulted first before any legislation is passed.
We have what we call, this slogan that's come up now, asset rich, cash poor. Exactly. 92% of the land, but cash poor. Because of the fact that the transactions and that political mentality that pervaded stopped the Itoke people from becoming wealthy from the land that they used.
Seth Kayum also talked about a meeting he had with the opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka when Rambuka was the Prime Minister.
Actually talked, he was my father, he talked to me about the benefits that must come from the land. And I talked to him about how there needs to be, the benefits needs to flow down to all the members of landowning units. And I remember him saying, yes, I agree with you. He said, but the chiefs won't let me do it.
Meanwhile, Lands Minister Ashnil Sudhakar says last year the government passed the Fair Share Royalty Act, under which 80% royalties of all the resources marketed and sold by the government goes to the landowners. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
A day after the government said it did not purchase rejected A350 aircrafts, opposition member William Ngavoka alleged it was not true. Ngavoka read out a statement claiming it's from the Dubai Aerospace Enterprise, stating that Singapore Airlines rejected the A350 planes, which were then purchased by Fiji Airways.
While debating on the Airports Fiji Limited 2016 report in Parliament, opposition MP William Ngavoka claimed that Fiji is buying rejected aircraft.
I have here a statement from DAE, which is the Dubai Aerospace Enterprise Capital, the lessor to this Fiji Airways A350, and they say here that Singapore Airlines had cancelled the order. That's why Fiji Airways went in to acquire it.
Civil Aviation Minister Aya Said Kayum rejected Ngavoka's claims.
There were two A350s available that one airline actually did not want to take up. When we made the decision to buy the A350, they said these two slots are now available because the time lag to wait after you order, it takes years. So we are lucky to get that aircraft. Singapore Airlines did not reject A350.
Said Kayum says the new aircraft will enable the national carrier to reach new destinations.
The statement that was made was incorrect. So how can we rely on a person who's made this kind of obscurantism and then to comment about airlines and aircraft and what have you?
Syed Qayyum adds the decision to buy the A350s wasn't made lightly because the market is highly competitive and manufacturers want to do business with Fiji Airways. The first A350 arrives in November. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Korean Airlines decision to pull out of Fiji is their own commercial decision. Civil Aviation Minister Ayaz Syed Qayyum says from the airline's commercial perspective, it was no longer viable for them. Opposition member Viliame Ngavoka in Parliament today said it's important to maintain the relationship with Korean Air.
We still can convince airlines like Korean Air to come to Fiji. I mean, it was SVT, the SVT government who brought Korean Air to Fiji in the 90s. Tragic, Honorable Speaker, if indeed they pull out.
We want our national airline to be strong. We of course want Korean Airways to come, but if Korean Airways has made a decision not to come, then we respect that. But let's be positive. Stop being so negative and so much under siege.
Minister for Local Government Pramila Kumar today corrected NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad on the claim that her appointment of the 7 teams of special administrators was unlawful. The stir came after the appointments were finalised by the local government minister yesterday. Apinisa Wangai Randovu reports.
Opposition member Professor Biman Prasad claimed that by law, the appointment made by the minister is illegal.
For the record, Mr. Speaker, I want to just read through the Act and the provisions and basically argue that the appointment of the administrators may be unlawful. I don't have any issues with the people who have been appointed, but I think going by the Act, the appointment may be unlawful.
Meanwhile, the local government minister Pramila Kumar says the Act clearly states the minister has the right to make such appointments.
Under Section 9A, Cap 125, the minister has the powers to appoint the special administrators, and I've appointed 28 special administrators for 7 times 2 municipalities. So the big municipalities will have 5 special administrators. The medium and the small ones will have 3, except for Levuka. It has 2 administrators.
The special administrators will oversee the governance and operation of 13 municipal councils. The teams led by a chair will be tasked with modernizing practices and streamlining processes to ensure cities and towns provide services to ratepayers and citizens in the most efficient, transparent and cost-effective way. Apinisa Wangirandobu, FBC News.
A Navy hydrographic team has arrived in Vunualevu to help with underwater search of the helicopter wreckage in the Natewa Bay waters. The team will use a multi-beam sonar equipment to take seabed images around the area the helicopter is believed to have crashed. However, FBC News understands the weather is still a major issue with regards to conducting this work. Multi-beam sonar is a common offshore surveying tool that is used for mapping the seafloor. Because of its multiple beams, it is able to map a swath of the seabed, in contrast to a single beam sonar, which only maps a point below the ship. The last known location of the helicopter is 3.6 nautical miles east of Porta Serre, Vakaundrove. Meanwhile, a 42-member ground search team from police and the RFMF today combed 10 kilometers of shoreline from Sangani to Porta Serre. Our North reporter Eleanor Tarangaivu joins us live now. Eleanor, what is the latest from the search and recovery efforts, which has now entered its 4th day?
Jackie, day 4 of the search and recovery operation has ended, and again with no success. Now, according to the Rescue Coordination Center, 42 personnel, 4 boats and 1 aircraft are directly involved in this operation. And this excludes the enormous amount of effort from the communities, the villagers from Sangani to Porta Serre that have been helping police and other authorities, the emergency responders, in their search for the pilot and the 2-year-old child. Now, since Saturday, approximately 180 square miles of area has been covered by the aircraft during their search. The ground teams have covered around 30 kilometers of the shoreline, and 40 square miles of the coastline has been covered by the boats that have been involved in the operation since day 1, and 0.2 square miles of the sea area has been covered by the divers. And as mentioned earlier, Jackie, the Navy Hydrographics team, they are here in Sabu Sabu, and they are awaiting, they will start their work on using the multi-beam sonars to get an image of the seabed around the area where the plane has crashed. Now, the weather has been hindering all the efforts. There's poor visibility, and the strong undercurrents have been the major factor, the weather factor that's been affecting the search and rescue efforts. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Eleanor. Meanwhile, tributes are flowing in for Sabu Sabu resident and helicopter pilot Gilbert Parker. He was a respected member of the Sabu Sabu community, and all who knew him said he was a caring and passionate man. Gilbert Parker moved to Sabu Sabu in 2015 and only last year started Sabu Sabu helicopters operating out of Savasi Island. In an online tribute, Savasi Island Resort says Parker had a passion for flying and was always the first to lend a helping hand. Parker's family does not wish to speak at this time as they await the investigation into the crash. FBC News has also been able to obtain pictures taken before the ill-fated flight left Naitamba Island for the Lambasa Hospital on the Friday afternoon. The heartbreaking pictures show the sick 2-year-old child being carried by his father and boarding the helicopter with his mother and being strapped in by Parker. Up ahead, Prime Minister ready for forum meeting and no decision yet on police post for Victoria Parade Suva. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad's dismissive comment saying the current government has a contempt for workers has been labelled by the Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum as a ridiculous preposition. Said Qayyum says the government has done a lot for workers and it's improper for Prasad to make false accusations. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Sometimes I wonder why this government has so much contempt for the workers.
This comment has been labelled by the minister as unreasonable, as he says government continues to raise the standard of workers.
Introduction of minimum wages, increment in minimum wages, the current review that's been carried out for all workers across Fiji. Is that contempt? Such a flippant comment. You'd expect something better from the leader of the oldest party in Fiji.
Prasad also suggested that a committee be set up to look at all financial institutions. However, this was strongly refuted by the Minister for Industry and Trade.
What we need is a revision of the Consumer Credit Act 1999. We need revision of the Banking Act, also the revision of the Insurance Act. We don't need another committee to tell us the same thing. How is going to change the issues already identified?
Meanwhile, Ayaz Said Qayyum says the economy is in a good space for more record growth and government will ensure policies are introduced to sustain the economy. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
After a lapse of 11 years, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama will attend the Pacific Islands Forum Leaders meeting in Tuvalu with an open mind. While Bainimarama didn't attend in the past, a representative from Fiji was always present at the forum. The Prime Minister says talks at the Forum Leaders meeting will focus on climate change.
We're going to a country, a nation that is going to go under if we don't look after the issues of climate change. So that's basically what I'm going to take there, besides everything else. I haven't felt any animosity from any country so far.
The Pacific Islands Forum Leaders meeting begins in Tuvalu on Monday. The government and the police will continue to consider the need for a police post along Victoria Parade in Suva. Late last month, Fijians were robbed and attacked on this stretch of the street by a group of men, which was captured on a security camera. Pranita Prakash reports.
Concerns are being raised that Victoria Parade in Suva is now becoming a hub for illegal activities.
Considering that in the past you've put up a police post at the Suva market, which has seen a huge reduction in crime in that area, would the minister consider putting up a police post right beside the Suva City Library or on Victoria Parade, which is the heart of where a lot of these illegal activities happen?
Defence Minister Inyase Ratu says they will make an assessment on the need for police posts based on the trends.
If there is a need for physical presence in the area, we will have to consult the stakeholders, particularly the municipal council, FRA and all, so that we can have, it's an option. But I've talked about working smarter within this environment, and the use of technology perhaps will help us in still creating the same effects but minimize costs, which will be good for government and the general public in the long term.
The Defence Minister says additional manpower has been mobilized to curb the increasing number of mugging and robberies. Seratu says this includes the Police Special Response Unit, which is assisting divisional commanders and station officers. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
In Parliament today, Minister for Employment Parvin Kumar highlighted issues raised by the International Labour Organization Standards Committee. Kumar says ILO requested the government provide a detailed response into allegations from the Fiji Trades Union Congress that trade unionists continue to be harassed. The minister says they informed the ILO that trade unions are able to organize and carry out activities without any interference and harassment from the government.
The Fijian Constitution ensures that all workers have the right to fair employment practice, including the right to join a trade union and to participate in its activities.
The government believes improving the state of buses will help improve traffic congestion during peak hours. Questions over the increasing number of vehicles came up in Parliament this morning. It was highlighted that use of public transport has to be encouraged, and zero duty on buses will enable operators to improve their fleet.
So again, for the buses, in order to encourage better quality buses, because people don't want to get on buses if it's got tarpaulin in its windows and it's leaking and what have you. So we've zero-rated duty on buses also now, and again, they should get more or refleet the bus system in Fiji.
And Kelly joins us now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business. Centralized invoicing system to benefit struggling businesses. And in growing Fiji, Suva's Regal Theatre building undergoes refurbishment. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulalo और हम सब मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है. हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग कल मिर्ची FM सुनता. Gold Town तावा में मिर्ची FM दागो मामा.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business, the Ministry of Trade has welcomed the centralized invoicing system initiative that will link up importers, wholesalers, retailers and consumers to the tax office. Minister Pramila Kumar says this will be a first-of-its-kind system. The initiative will be implemented by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service.
This has been an extremely important step, not only to better capture revenue data, but also to provide platform where the government would be able to provide targeted assistance by tracking the financial progress of a business.
The Fiji National Provident Fund has stated that employers failing to register new staff will result in a penalty of $5,000. Chief Executive Chachi Koroi says despite awareness, some prominent employers are still failing to pay staff contributions. Koroi is warning employers to fulfill the superannuation obligation to avoid unnecessary penalties. The Chief Executive says they're aware of cases where members have been told by the employers to register themselves, and this is wrong under the law. We now join Gary from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
The Kiwi dollar has jumped on the forex market after a report showing New Zealand unemployment dropped to an 11-year low in the second quarter, and wages surged after an increase in minimum wage rates. The report provided the final key data before RBNZ's decision tomorrow on interest rates, against a backdrop of a cooling domestic economy and rate deductions by global peers. Ahead of that, however, investors will watch the Reserve Bank of Australia's rate decision later today. The Aussie dollar is at its low for the year as China escalates its trade dispute with the US into the currency market. Meanwhile, China's offshore yuan fell to an all-time low today after Trump labeled Beijing a currency manipulator. The move also pushed the US dollar down against the Japanese yen and the euro, while global stocks fell on worries the trade conflict with China will hurt economic growth and corporate profits. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Minaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. The markets remain volatile and cautious. The Fiji dollar rose strongly against the sliding Chinese yuan and the Australian dollar, but dipped slightly versus the New Zealand dollar and the other currencies we cover. Commodity prices were mixed. Crude oil dropped slightly at $55 a barrel. Gold continued to skyrocket at $1,466 per ounce, and silver closed at $16.24 an ounce. In growing Fiji, the Regal Theatre building on Victoria Parade in Suva is getting a facelift. Damodar Group of Companies Chief Executive Div Damodar says the popular cinema is being transformed into a two-story retail store. Damodar says work commenced late last year and is now in its finishing stage. The refurbished building will also have escalators. Damodar says the new office sale will be up for lease or sale soon. That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Kelly, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, RKS and QVS junior grades ready for Dean's battle, and Flying Fijians anticipate a physical challenge from Samoa. This and more coming up.
Natango Maria, Maramani Waya Manatu Sawa. Awetikitunde nandi ya ndo marata kana baronga na Radio Fiji 1.
Yawa asna vatili yawa maga Monica. Tondo baronga vale bona doma ibiti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosala ngarse ngor kraki. Do televe ona baronga na Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti. Ngana ngo tsani bukia ngoni na mosi. Ando taleta kana baronga na Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti so.
Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti.
It'll be a battle of secondary schools rugby giants at the Vodafone Deans under 15 and under 16 finals this weekend. Ratukandavulevu and Queen Victoria both have their targets set and were both well aware of what they needed to improve on following their semi-final wins. Faria Begum has more.
Queen Victoria has a plan for taking on the defending champs, and executing it is what they're focusing on right now.
Line speed, we work a lot on that. We have to improve on our line speed. And even our tackle and also our defensive line. We have to improve on that.
Meanwhile, there is always room for improvement, says RKS under-16 rugby team manager Timothy Satakala.
I think the ruck, we need to improve on the ruck. And our attack, there were a lot of disruption in our attack, and we need to be patient and keep up with momentum. To score tries.
RKS and QVS meet in the Deans under-16 final on Saturday at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
With over 4 matches played incorporating players from various overseas clubs, Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John McKee says his tests with different player combinations are working well. The Flying Fijians take on Samoa this Saturday, and McKee hints that we should expect another new-look national squad to take on our Pacific neighbours. Faria Begum reports.
McKee says up until now they have been making a lot of changes on the field so that more players can get game time.
Now with really Samoa and Tonga, our final really 2 matches before we play Australia, you know, one of the criteria this week will be looking at combinations to ensure that the players in different units within the team get to work together in the game situation.
While getting ready for their clash against Samoa, McKee says they are up against strong ball carriers and a very physical team.
Looking at they've got a very good defensive structure as well. You know, they work well together in defence. Their defensive line's hard to break down, so we're going to have a lot of patience and to build pressure. You know, we can't expect just to run through them on the first or second phase.
Fly half Josh Matavesi agrees with his coach, saying he expects a very physical game from Samoa.
A physical group, we know what they're going to bring. We know that they run straight and they run hard, so it's about matching that. So you know what's coming, but you still got to stop it. They've got a lot of big names on their sheet, and they're not going to be happy after last week's performance against America.
No longer title contenders, the Flying Fijians meet Samoa and a chance for their second win in the Pacific Nations Cup on Saturday at 7:15 p.m. at ANZ Stadium in Suva. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
It'll be a Battle of the City teams in semi-final 2 of the 2019 Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants tournament this weekend. While the Sugar City side will have home ground advantage, a hungry Capital City team are determined to end its 22-year drought at the competition. Faria Begum again has more.
The men in white are wary of their semi-final opponents.
It will be a tough match. I know Lautoka is a great side. Yes, they have good players, quality players. So it will be a tough match, but we'll try our best to create some miracle to win that game.
On the other hand, Lautoka coach Aginesh Prasad boasts their training sessions are up to par.
We have been preparing well, so we are ready to play. It's, after all, you have to play football on the pitch, so we are not concerned where we are playing, but yeah, we are ready.
Lautoka last won the BOG title 2 years ago in 2017. They will play Suva at 8:30 p.m. on Saturday at Churchill Park in Lautoka. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
Lambasa football coach Ronil Lal admits they need to iron out a few issues before the semi-final match. Lal says while the team walked away with the win in their last pool encounter against Tavua, there were some key areas in dire need of improvement.
Probably finishing. We should have been 5 up in the first half, but our finishing let us down. That's one of the main problems, so we'll work on that. Got another week for that.
Lambasa take on Nasinu in the first semi-final of the BOG at 6:30 p.m. this Saturday, while Lautoka meets Suva at 8:30 p.m. The final will be held at 4 p.m. on Sunday. All matches will be played at Lautoka's Churchill Park. That's it from sports. Right up ahead in the world of the weird and wonderful, Britain's monster donkey chasing Guinness World Record. Find out more after the break.
हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है। बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोज तक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नाइक है, गोमवा लेबू लटोका। रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
And Kritika joins us now with the latest in weather.
Today started with overcast skies, cool temperatures and light rain, but it got warmer and drier in the afternoon. Looking at the west, they had a day of sunshine in most areas along with cool temperatures. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, overcast skies and light rain started the day. The rain eased off and it got warmer, but skies remained cloudy. And up north, there were overcast skies and light rain along eastern shores.
At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots and moderate swells. Looking at the tides, the next high tide is at 11:15 tonight and low tide at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:31. For tomorrow, scattered showers are likely with some heavier falls, especially for the central and eastern areas. Tomorrow's temperatures, most centers will be in the mid to high 20s. And looking further on to Thursday, expect generally the same condition, cool with cloudy skies and showers. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kritika. In Fijian Pulse segment tonight, we asked, should Fiji introduce plain packaging for tobacco products?
It doesn't make any difference because people still buy the product that produced by tobacco.
The plain packet is good. So people won't see the picture and they won't buy it.
I don't think the idea will stop people from smoking.
I think even if you don't have a picture there on the tobacco packet, it won't change anything.
Capping the main stories for tonight, Aviation Minister says purchased A350 planes, not rejects. Appointment of special administrator teams clarified. And no progress in downed helicopter search. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week we're asking, should Fiji introduce unbranded packaging for tobacco? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, a magical sunset taken at Malamala Beach Club by Sefa Volao. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, or you can follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks. Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm a curator from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.